If you don't check corruption, there's no way you can make any meaningful leap in life.
We talk about the stomach infrastructure policy.
Stomach infrastructure is simply about the welfare of the people, coming to the level of the people.
And the mere fact that you are a minister does not make it to be criminal. No court of law has convicted them.
We're here today at the National Assembly for the inauguration of the Sustainable Development Goals in the House of Representatives. Stay tuned for this exclusive episode. My name is Osasu and I am your host.
I'm very delighted to welcome you all to this retreat organized by the United Nations Millennium Campaign, UNMC, for members of the House Committee on SDGs. We feel honored by the presence of the Speaker of the House, other members of the House leadership, Deputy Speaker of the Air Force Parliament, who is also a member of the Ghanaian Parliament, honorable ministers and major stakeholders here present. We, the members of the House Committee on SDGs, have gathered here on the auspices of our partners, the United Nations Millennium Campaign, UNMC, to be enlightened and educated more on the successor to the Millennium Development Goals, now called the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. These were adopted by the UN 70th General Assembly on September 25, 2015 in New York for implementation by member states of the United Nations. In the words of the Ghanaian President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, he said, "What we have adopted and referred to simply as the SDGs is perhaps the most ambitious transformational development ever attempted in the history of the United Nations. We must tackle these challenges identified in the 17th goal as a matter of urgency, and we can seize the opportunity offered by the adoption of SDGs to tackle the unfinished business of the Millennium Development Goals." I cannot but agree more with him because of the SDGs as the successor of MDGs must not only finish but surpass the unfinished business of the MDGs. Recall also that Nigeria, for instance, whereas MDGs was adopted in the year 2000, it barely existed here till the year 2005-2006. When the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on MDGs was created, and it only started receiving parliamentary appropriation from the 2006 budget. 6 years after its creation, the Standing Committee on MDGs in Nigerian Parliament was created in 2007 during the 6th Assembly of 2007 to 2011. And the successive leadership of the House has continued to sustain and support the committee and support the committee to discharge its parliamentary duties and functions. We hope and believe that the support and cooperation to the HCC committee will not be anything different. Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. There is a need to equip the members with all the necessary tools and information on their roles in achieving the SDGs. It is against this backdrop that this retreat is being organized to educate, appoint and intimate the members on their parliamentary and leadership roles in achieving the post-2015 agenda in Nigeria. It is expected that at the end of this brainstorming exercise, members of the committee will be fully aware and well-armed to carry their legislative duties, which will in turn translate to the attainment of SDGs in Nigeria by the year 2030. I would like to thank each and every one of you for finding time to attend this event despite the short notice and a tight schedule. To my colleagues, honorable members, please always remember that you are the representative of the people, and in each of us there is a vision, the knowledge, the experience, and the wherewithal to help us position Nigeria as one of the nations that will make a mark with Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) by the year 2030. For the ENMC, I thank you so much for this wonderful gesture. On behalf of the members of the Committee on Sustainable Development Goals, we sincerely appreciate all your support in building capacity among parliamentarians in Nigeria and Africa, and our predecessors would not have achieved so much without your support and directives. And we look forward to continue that robust relationship with you as we march ahead. I am very much grateful. Thank you so much for your attention, and God bless you.
Nigeria's performance in the past MDGs was widely and globally accepted as a very successful one. The MDGs, which was earlier declared during the Millennium Declaration, was one special program that was aimed at ameliorating some of the global problems challenging the survival of our people, especially at the grassroots level. The MDGs were categorized or were made of 7 components, like all of you might have known. And the intention, or the basic intention of the MDGs fundamentally was to ameliorate or reduce those challenges of life. Goal 1 of the MDGs, which was about poverty, alleviation and reduction of hunger, it was also captured from the perspective of reduction of poverty and ameliorating sufferance of our people by hunger. Goal 2 of the MDGs, which was also about universal basic education, was aimed at reducing school dropouts and increasement of school enrollment, especially at the universal basic education level. What I would like to say is that for those of us who are new into the business of the MDGs and global human development, the MDGs was fundamentally focused towards ameliorating reduction of poverty, reduction of school dropout, reduction of HIV and AIDS infections or infections in the country or wherever you find such cases, reduction of maternal death, reduction of child mortality. The aim of the MDGs in a nutshell was about reduction. I'm giving you this background because I would like to put across, without any fear of contradiction, that by the conception and definition of the Millennium Development Goals, Nigeria has significantly succeeded in the achievement of the MDGs because the concept was about reduction. And each and every one of you could believe me, that believe my opinion, that if the concept was defined from a perspective of reduction, all these objectives of the MDGs were greatly achieved because the definition was definitively meant to reduce such challenges in the context of human development. And after that, I would like to also give you a recount of the background of how the Millennium Development Goals was concluded by 2015. And at the end of the conclusion of the Millennium Development Goals by 2015, global stakeholders now found it very necessary that since the aim of the MDGs was about reduction, it is therefore right to say that there are other things that should have been concluded and have not been conclusively concluded. So that is where the beginning, the commencement of the SDGs came into being. And on behalf of the Speaker and by extension on behalf of the House of Representatives, the House of the Nigerian people, declare this retreat open. And I wish you very successful.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's program. So, quick question. We just left the launch of the SDGs in the Parliamentary and 8th National Assembly. So, can you tell me what strategies and what policies you would like to implement to ensure that the 5% of women, the whole population of the National Assembly, only 5% of women are involved? So, how do we meet the UN quota of 35%?
Well, that is why we are here, to put our heads together to see how we can improve on what we have on the ground. I used to be in the National Assembly, not anymore, but the programs of the SDGs, which will come into force by January next year, 13 of the goals of the SDGs are related to women and children and the people with special needs, you know. So that is why when they invited me, I gladly left all that I was doing to come so that I partner with them. And you heard that I asked them for collaboration with our ministry because out of 17 goals, 13 are directly related to the core functions of my ministry. Therefore, I'm here. I'm happy that they want to enlighten themselves. They want to they've got people to come and educate them on how to work and so on. So with time, they collaborate and see how best we can achieve the targets or the goals of the SDGs.
Okay. You're popularly known as Mama Taraba. You have a case right now in the appeal court against the incumbent governor of Taraba State. If you win this case at the appeal court, you will be made the first female governor of Taraba State. So first of all, how would you juggle both positions? Or would you have to step down as your position as minister? And who would take over to sustain the good work that you're already doing?
Well, you can't be a minister and be a governor at the same time. You have to step down at one. I am before the appeal court, and I hope by the grace of God that I succeed. And even if we go further to the Supreme Court, I also pray and hope that I succeed in the appeal. In that case, if I succeed, I'll go and take up the mandate of the people of Taraba State, who are also Nigerians. And it is a prerogative of Mr. President to put another person in the ministry, to be Minister of Women Affairs. And I trust Mr. President, just like he picked me, having confidence in me. I'm sure there are many people that are like me or even better than me, that Mr. President has a choice to pick from to take over the mantle of leadership. And of course, in the APC, this government is our government, the government of change. Therefore, wherever I am in Nigeria, even outside Nigeria, if it were possible, especially in Nigeria, I'm still an ambassador of Nigeria and an ambassador of change agenda. Therefore, whether I'm in Taraba or here, I'm always available to Mr. President for any assignment, and I will help this government, the federal government, and my state government, and the other governments of Nigeria to succeed.
So the good work you're doing in the Ministry of Women's Affairs right now will continue if
by
you become governor.
By the grace of God, it will continue. Mr. President will get another person that is like me or even better than me to take over from me. And of course, with my little experience, I also am part of the government because I'm in APC and the government is an APC government. And I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of APC. Therefore, we want to drive the manifesto of our party, and that is the manifesto of change. Therefore, from wherever I am, in whatever capacity, I'm still part of this government. I'll remain part of this government, and I'll advise Mr. President, whether as governor or as minister or as an ordinary Nigerian.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. We wish you all the best. God bless.
Following Mr. President's profound statement at Onga affirming Nigeria's commitment to the SDGs, the Office of the Senior Federal Assistant to the President has since embarked on a sensitization and advocacy drive on the new agenda to ensure widespread buy-in and also to enhance seamless transition to the new agenda. Distinguished members, as the MDGs wind down in a number of days, it is important to note that Nigeria has made appreciable progress in the attainment of the MDGs in the last 14 years, especially in the areas of universal primary education enrollment, achieving gender parity in education, reducing the spread of HIV and AIDS, and even eradicating polio. These successes and achievements, as well as the main challenges we face in implementing the MDGs in Nigeria in the past decade and a half, have been well documented in the Nigerian Endpoint Report, which we produce together with our stakeholders.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's program. So now with the implementations of the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, starting in January 2016, Nigeria wasn't necessarily able to achieve all of the MDGs. So what policies do you think we can form with the parliamentary, with the legislative arm of government to ensure that we can achieve the SDGs by 2030?
Let me first of all, by point of clarification, clarify
that Nigeria could not have been said to have not achieved the MDGs. Because by definition, the MDGs was meant to achieve all those 7 goals by way of reducing, ameliorating, reduction of poverty and hunger, reduction of school dropouts by way of universal basic education, reduction of maternal death, reduction of child mortality. What I want to say in essence is that as long as the definition of the MDGs as set in the Millennium Declaration in the year 2000 was meant to achieve those goals by way of reduction, I want to say by standard and without any fear of contradiction, Nigeria could be placed as a country that has achieved the Millennium Development Goals. Of course, the level of achievements might have varied one way or the other, especially as it relates to the various goals. So this is by way of clarification. Being the past chairman and going by our end program report, which I had presented in the United Nations General Assembly, Nigeria is classified as one nation that has really significantly achieved the morals and the objectives of the MDGs as defined in the Millennium Declaration.
But when you look at issues such as poverty,
yes,
education, clean drinking water, these are areas that we still need to make significant progress in. We have a long way to go.
Absolutely.
So are you comfortable in the state that these different sectors are in today?
No one will be quite comfortable about the state of the situations as it is today. But what I'm trying to say is that as long as the aim of the MDGs was to reduce poverty, was to reduce hunger, so Nigeria's government, through the various stakeholders, through the various development frameworks, by engaging the various agencies and ministries, we have also successfully reduced poverty and hunger.
Okay.
But the fact remains the same. Even the essence of coming up with Sustainable Development Goal was, of course, about consolidating on the gains of the MDGs. Was born out of the fact that there are still unfinished businesses of the MDGs. And it is this unfinished businesses of the MDGs, some of those aims that we are supposed to have achieved quite greater than what we had done so far, that we want to now focus and make sure that we can achieve them in quite a greater perspective like many other countries have done. I want to assure you that by the Sustainable Development Goals Declaration, and with Nigeria engaging into this program, with the Parliament also by way of collaboration, engaging the program at the same time, almost simultaneously, Nigeria is now placed on a very good platform to kickstart the Sustainable Development Goals in a way that we will achieve it, in a way that we will achieve them quite significantly. Okay. But this requires a lot of collaboration. Collaboration, not only an interplay between the executive and the legislative arm of government at the federal level, but collaboration even by private stakeholders. Private partners should come into these programs. The state governments and the local governments must have to also be proactive in terms of synergy with the federal government, so that at the end of the day, programs and policies of the Sustainable Development Goals as contained in the Nigeria's government policy can also be seen going down the ladder, so that at the end of the day, Nigeria will now be seen achieving the Millennium Development Goals on a holistic basis. It is my belief that with the new government we have on ground, with the government of the people that is now being counted as a government of change, there will be a lot of change, and the SDGs will certainly have a boost in Nigeria. Nigeria will still be counted as a proactive nation, a nation that will succeed in achieving Millennium Development Goals by way of consolidating on the initially made gains of the Sustainable Development Goals. Funding was a very serious problem in those days. In most of the times, you find out that the Appropriation Act was being a little bit undermined. Sometimes you get releases belatedly. When you are going into an interventionist program like this, government has to be very proactive. Funding really created a very serious K-leg to the MDGs in the past, because we had so many situations when funds will come at a very late hour, when programs could not effectively be implemented. I want to believe with this new government and with the new legislative agenda we have under the 8th House of Representatives, by trying to engage the executive arm of government to do the right thing at the right time, we will ensure that we have what we call proactive releases of funds, so that goals and objectives of government policies, especially policies that border on global platform, will be achieved very effectively.
Thank you, Honorable Al-Hassan.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure being with you.
God bless you.
And it is in this respect that I want to thank Mr. Chair for allowing us to collaborate with you. And we also look with very, very high expectations on this committee, and we are ready to continue to work with you. The fact that the UN system is represented here today by the country director of UNDP is a huge testament of our recognition of the role of Parliament
and we really look forward to this engagement.
I'm here with Honorable Simon Osibenta, who is the 4th Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
You're welcome,
So
madam.
can you explain to us and our viewers how Nigeria fared from the implementation of the MDGs in 2000 to 2015, and now that we're moving to the SDGs, what differences would we be able to implement that would help us achieve the SDGs by 2030?
Thank you very much. First of all, if you consider the various countries, even not only in the sub-region, that is not only in West Africa, but the whole of Africa, Nigeria will be said as one of the leaders in effectively implementing the Millennium Development Goals as compared to other countries. They achieved success in almost all the areas. The fact is, with the Millennium Development Goals, they were not supposed to eliminate those weaknesses that were identified, but rather to reduce it to an acceptable level. I would not say that in all the areas Nigeria did well, but if you take the situation like poverty, it wasn't bad. Child and maternal mortality, they did very good. Reduction of hunger was also good.
It's the largest chunk of the SDG. And many of us believe that without health, we will not be able to move forward with the SDGs.
Yes, sir. So what implementations or what policies are you strategizing in the Ministry of Health to ensure that the health sector in Nigeria is improved? Primary health care, creation of primary health care and centers in Nigeria that will improve the lives of our citizens.
Well, what we want to do at the Ministry of Health is to revitalize the primary care level, adopting an approach of one PHC per ward, and we are looking at putting life into about 10,000 of these PHCs across the country. We are not going to do new constructions. What we want to do essentially is to revitalize, make sure that access is made possible, make sure that staff are adequately remunerated, and that we offer services to about 70% of Nigerians. And when we take care of basic challenges like malaria, HIV, cancer screening, public health education, I think we'll go a long way. And also provide care for pregnant women and children, give them vaccines that are necessary. I think we will have addressed quite a large chunk of the challenges that we face in this country. And we'll reduce the pressure on secondary facilities. We'll also reduce pressure on tertiary care centers.
Thank you so much for joining us on this special episode of the Osasu Show. Make sure you are adding your own quota into the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals in Nigeria by 2030. Also, this is our last episode till next year, so I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So I'll be seeing you in 2016. To watch all past episodes, you can visit our website www.theosasushow.com and also our YouTube channel with the link below. We love you and take very good care of yourself.